alone. Stop bossing me around. I don't need your help.
Mama, please.
If you've ever felt your heart break while caring for someone you love, you are not alone. What you just saw, the pain and confusion on both sides, is the reality that millions of caregivers are struggling with every single day. And then you walk away so confused, left wondering, what have you done wrong? And I want you to know, care partners, in fact, I need you to know, care partners, that you are not the cause of this. In today's video, I am going to explain to you what is happening in dementia. Why is your loved one suddenly becoming so mean and so cruel to you, the person who's caring for them? And then in our next series of videos, care partners, I'm going to teach you what you can do about it. Hi, for those of you who are new here, my name is Dr. Sinclair. I'm a neuropsychologist, dementia care specialist, and founder of the Confident Caregiver Academy. Let's jump on in. What you're witnessing, care partners, is tied to changes in your loved one's frontal lobe and the amygdala. The frontal lobe is like our brain's brake system. It controls our impulses. We don't do every behavior that pops into our head. It also filters our words. We don't say everything that pops into our head. And the frontal lobe also softens our responses. It softens our reactions. Dementia changes all of that. It damages that entire system. And at the same time, the amygdala, our brain's alarm system, becomes overactive. So it starts sounding the alarm for everything. That means your loved one feels danger faster and lashes out quicker. So when they snap at you, it is not a reflection of your caregiving. It is not a reflection of their love for you. It is a reflection of a brain that's losing its filters and alarm systems are just going off constantly. Grab a pen and paper and let's start jotting some of this down. First and foremost, it's not you, it's the brain. As I mentioned, dementia is shrinking your loved one's frontal lobe, which means that they are losing their ability to control themselves, to filter their words. They're losing the ability for empathy, for softening their reactions toward you. All the while, their amygdala is now sounding alarms all the time, scanning for danger that isn't there. A small ask can feel like an attack. Mom, would you like some coffee? Stop bossing me around. Mom, would you like a shower? Stop bossing me around, right? A small request becomes something insurmountable to a loved one with dementia. Or something that they hear in the background on TV can spark panic and fear. That's also something that the amygdala picks up on. And then all of a sudden that fear, that panic now comes out as anger towards you. So care partners, it's not you. This is a dementia affected brain. And at this point is when a lot of care partners will say, well, Dr. Sinclair, my dad, my mom, my partner was always a bit gruff. And to that care partner, if they were always a bit gruff, then your loved one is probably going to become even more gruff because they are losing the filtering system that they did have. And if they struggled to control their emotional responses beforehand, well, losing the bit of filtering system that they do have means that they could struggle even more, which means you're going to see even more outbursts. Potentially. I have seen it the other way around as well, where I've worked with care partners who said my loved one was so gruff and so irritable and so mean before, and dementia has completely changed them. They are a nicer person now with dementia. So care partners, I've seen it both ways. But to those who say, my loved one was always a bit gruff with me, so it won't be surprising for you to learn that without that frontal lobe filtering system and an overactive amygdala, your loved ones may become even worse. And allow me to explain why you get the worst of it. Ever notice how they're polite to the nurse or the doctor, and the second they leave the room, your loved one lashes out at you? That's called the safe person effect. And it's a painful compliment. But what that means, care partners, is that you have created so much love and safety for your loved one with dementia that they can feel safe enough to be themselves with you. When the doctor or the nurse is in the room, there's so much pressure there. Every time they go to a doctor's appointment, they're losing something. They're losing their ability to drive. They can't drink. They can't smoke, right? They're losing so much agency because of dementia. And every time they go to the doctor's office, it's one other thing that gets taken away. With you, you're their safety. And so it is a painful compliment because you've created this space, this love in which they're not feeling all of this pressure to put a mask on. They can actually be themselves. Unfortunately, the they that's themselves right now is a person with dementia, a brain that's losing their frontal lobe and now has an overactive amygdala. That's them being themselves. Masking for others. When your sibling comes to visit, when friends come to visit, or even when you're at the doctor's office and the doctor's in the room, your loved one with dementia is all smiles. And the moment they leave, boom, as we talked about, your loved one shifts and changes. And it's not manipulation, care partners, although that is what all of my care partners say. Dr. Sinclair, you should see how manipulative my loved one is. It is not manipulation, although it looks like it. If it were a healthy brain, it would be manipulation. It's not. It's a dementia-affected brain that is socially masking. What's happening here with masking, care partners, is when you are in a situation, a social situation, in which you're not feeling 100% comfortable, certain reflexes get activated. So we have very deep ingrained social scripts that are getting stored in a different part of the brain. It doesn't require as much logic and planning. These are deeply ingrained social scripts. Hey doc, how you doing? How's your wife? How are the kids? How's the dog? The dog? You remember the dog here, but you don't remember to feed the dog at home, right? These are deeply ingrained social scripts, care partners, and it's coming from a different place in the brain. Think of it like muscle memory. You haven't ridden your bike in 30 years, but if you get on a bike, you can go. It's kind of like that socially for your loved one with dementia. These are deeply ingrained social scripts. These are deep social reflexes. However, when your loved one with dementia gets home, that mask falls. That reflex is gone. They feel safe again. So these are not the same parts of the brain that's getting activated in a conversation with you at home, that's getting activated in a conversation with your sibling that they hardly see, or with a doctor that's going to take away another independence from them. If this is resonating for you, care partners, then please go ahead and like and subscribe to this channel. It allows me to continue to make these videos to educate you, and please feel free to also share it with other care partners who've never gotten this explanation, who've never gotten this education, and who are struggling just like you. Okay, so let's move on. Why it feels so personal. When you're the one being yelled at, care partners, it feels deeply personal. How can it not, right? When we think of the scene that started this video, oh my gosh, it was heartbreaking. Your loved one yelling at you, lashing out at you is not a reflection of your relationship. It's not a reflection of your caregiving. It's not a reflection of your worth. What it is echoing is that their brain is losing to dementia. It helps to depersonalize it when you say that, when you have the education, you can stop blaming yourself, but it does bring the reality home that your loved one's brain is changing. They are slowly getting worse and worse with dementia, because dementia is progressive. You don't want to spend time arguing with them. You don't want to spend time fighting with them. We now know that their brain is losing its frontal lobe to be able to filter their behaviors. So what that does mean then, care partners, is the responsibility is on you, right? You want this time left with your loved one to be as special as it can. And so as much of the yelling as they're engaging in, because they don't have a frontal lobe and their amygdala is hyperactive, right? They can't bring it down. And so unfairly so, the burden gets shifted to you because you do have a frontal lobe and you do have a healthy amygdala. And so while saying that will depersonalize, it will also remind you of the grief and the responsibility that's now on your plate as a care partner. Which segues well into our next point, protecting yourself while staying present. You're trying to stay present, care partners, because you know that time is fleeting. You also have to protect yourself in that space. When your loved one lashes out in the same way that that mom did in the video, that's where you take a step back and you can say a phrase like, okay, mom, I'm going to give you a little bit of space. I'll be right back. Okay, mom, I'm going to give you 10 minutes. I'll come right back. It allows them to calm down, and it also allows you to go and calm down and process what just came up for you as well. Maybe you need to take a few deep breaths. Maybe you need to take a walk around the house. Maybe you need to cry. Crying helps to get some of that emotion out. Maybe you need to talk to a friend. You can vent and talk to a friend. Maybe you need to speak to a support group. Maybe you need to join other caregivers who get it and understand. I actually have a collective. I'll go ahead and link that down below so that you can come and share your experiences with other care partners who get it just like you do. So I'll go ahead and put that in the link below, care partners. But You need to give them space, and you need to protect yourself by giving yourself space as well. You now understand that they're not being mean to you, care partners, because you're failing or you've done something wrong. You understand that there's a neurobiological culprit to what's going on for your loved one with dementia. During the next heated situation, care partners, when you can pause and really reflect on that, care partners, you'll be reminded that there is still love deep in there. This is not your loved one. This is unfortunately dementia. Care partners, if this allowed you to feel seen, if this helped you to stop the blame game, then we are halfway there. Go ahead and check out the next video so that you can learn some of the phrases to calm dementia anger fast. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.